And welcome to Civic Engagement with Raymond Tyler. My name is Raymond Tyler. My special guest today is Dr. Thelma Witherspoon. Many of you will know her and her family from gospel music and also from Westminster in Atlantic City. I think it's safe to say that her family is the first family of gospel music in Atlantic City.
No, we're not.
Well, you are to me. There are many
No, we're
great
not.
singers in Atlantic City, but she definitely comes from a great musical family that indeed loves the Lord. Dr. Witherspoon is now the Hamilton Township Committeewoman, and we are coming to you from the Hamilton Township Municipal Building for this episode of Civic Engagement with Raymond Tyler. We're going to ask her a little bit about her life. We're going to ask her a little bit about some of the things that she's done as a member of the school board. And definitely we're going to talk to her about what she's doing now. So let us meet Ms. or Dr. Thelma Witherspoon. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us today.
I'm honored that you wanted to interview me.
Okay, so let's get right to it. What does the Hamilton Township Committeewoman do? What's her job?
Well,
what's your job?
Well, my job or our job is to create policy,
Okay.
and to watch the budget.
Okay. So for our lay people who are watching and listening, how do you create policy? What's the procedural?
Well, there are ordinances and things of that nature that has to be done in the township. We vote on contracts. We deal with anything that deals with the budget.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're responsible for. You have your township administrator and your municipal people that work. They do the daily operations.
Okay.
So we oversee it.
Ah, okay. All right. And how long have you been in this position?
1 year.
Okay.
1 year, January 3rd, 2023, I was sworn in.
Okay. So then my next question would be budgets and overseeing, and sounds a little stuffy, somewhat boring. Why did you want the position? Why did you want the job? What made you want to be the Hamilton Township Committeewoman?
Well, it takes me to the next level.
Okay.
I'm in what I love and I love what I do.
Okay.
So I had been out of office since I was on the school board.
Okay.
So I ran for multiple offices, but this is the one that I want.
Okay.
And so it helps me to, be a representative.
Okay.
I'm the first African American woman to have this position.
Okay.
So I'm very, very proud of that. In this position, Mr. Rodney Bouchard was the first African American man.
Okay.
And I'm the first African American woman in over 200 years of this municipality.
Okay. So what is your particular platform, or what did you run on?
Well, taxes, we ran on taxes. What was the issues? There were a lot of issues that were going on in our township at the time. There was something called Trophy Park. There were a lot of issues that were going on, and I was coming to the meetings.
Right.
So I developed my platform around what the issues were at that particular time, and I won.
Okay. And so, to people who voted for you, what can you say that you've given them since you've been in office?
I've given 100%, 200% of myself. I read my packets. I'm at the meetings. I've only missed one meeting. I was out of the country, but vacation. But I don't miss meetings, and I make sure that I read the entire packet, and that I'm looking out for the interests of the taxpayers and for everyone who voted for me and for those who did not vote for me.
Well, that was my next question. What would you say that you've done or given to people who didn't vote for Thelma Witherspoon last time?
I'm giving them the same thing that I'm giving to the people who did vote for me.
Okay.
200%.
200%.
200%.
Okay, all right. If you're just tuning in, you are listening or watching Civic Engagement, and my special guest is Dr. Thelma Witherspoon, and we're talking about her duties as Hamilton Township Committeewoman. What was the one thing that you knew you were going to change as soon as you got in office?
Well, you know what? I learned this when I was on the school board in Atlantic City, that you are just one vote.
Okay.
So you have to work as a team. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Okay.
All right. So you have to work as a team in order to get things done in your township or your municipality or whatever that you're doing.
Okay.
You can't. It's not about me. It's about everybody working together to make things happen in the district.
Okay. Was there one thing, or was there anything besides taxes, or was there anything besides taxes or including taxes that you knew, we need to try and make a change on this particular issue?
Well, I'm gonna say the first day that I got sworn in,
Okay.
they were going to take out the holiday in July. I'm drawing a blank. Juneteenth.
Okay.
Juneteenth. And I opposed it
Okay.
on my first day
Okay.
because I didn't want to seem like that I was rubber stamping.
Right.
Just because I had got elected. This was very important to African Americans, and sometimes if you're not familiar, with the history of things, you don't see the significance or the importance of it. But I knew this as being an African American, that this is something that was important to our community. And so that's one thing that I stood up for, and they all came back and voted to keep it in the calendar.
Well, that sounds like a victory.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's double back to something you said. You said you were the first African American woman
Right.
to be elected to this position. What does that mean to you, and what do you think that will mean to future African American young ladies who will run for your position and other positions?
Well, that it's not impossible. We had people during the civil rights movement and now who have paved the way for us to do a lot of things that we do now. So I would want someone to come after me. I'm not going to be here forever,
Right.
but they know it's possible. If something has never happened, you think it's not possible. When President Barack Obama, no one thought that they would ever see an African American president in the United States of America. He made it possible. So
Right.
when Kamala came along as vice president, they made it possible. So with me running in this position, it's possible. Someone can look at this and say that they want a political career, or this is something they want to do.
Okay.
And
Alrighty.
I will work with them or mentor them. And, sometimes people get in the office and they want to be there for a lifetime. But I think that we grow when we mentor other people and bring people along, with us.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens. Fact. More than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.
If you're just tuning in, you are watching Civic Engagement. My name is Raymond and I'm here with my special guest, Dr. Thelma Witherspoon. Okay, so you said, you talked about mentorship. Was there people who mentored you or who helped you along the way with your political career?
Well, I want to say I first started out in the 8th grade watching Shirley Chisholm.
Oh, wow, okay.
All right, so I was excited because she was the first African-American woman to be Congresswoman in New York.
Right.
And so I was really excited about that. And I was like, wow. Now, I didn't say I wanted to be Congresswoman, but it opened up my mindset for the political avenue,
Okay.
But I want to say locally, in the county-wise, the late Barbara Hudgens.
Okay.
Rosalind Norvell Nance, who was president of
Yes.
Atlantic City Council.
Yes.
Mrs. Palmer Terry was the first woman, councilwoman in Atlantic City. You know, so these were people that I watched. Barbara Hudgens, however, took me under her wing. She took me places.
Okay.
She showed me the ropes.
Okay.
You know, so I'm ever so thankful for her for that.
Okay. All right. This is Civic Engagement, and we're talking to Dr. Thelma Witherspoon. Allow me to dig just a little bit.
Go ahead.
Okay, so as long as I've been alive, there's always been talk about separation of church and state. And as a matter of fact, growing up in the church myself, a lot of times people would tell me, well, you know, real Christians don't get involved in politics. So did you have that experience with people telling you, well, if you're a Christian woman, you really shouldn't get involved in politics? And if they did, what would your answer be?
Well, I grew up in church like you did.
Right.
But I also am a student of the Word.
Okay.
All right, and there are people in the Bible who were in political position,
Okay.
such as Esther.
Okay.
You know, if she was not in position, she would not have been able to save her nation. There was Deborah, who was in position, and she led the children of Israel through many victories. Then there was the Apostle Paul. You know, he
Right.
was involved. He was a Pharisee, but he was in the Sanhedrin Council. You know, there were people in the Bible that had political position. Joseph
Yes.
ended up in a political position.
Yes.
And because of that, he was able to bring his people later on down into Goshen, you know. But had he not been in political position, he would not have been able to do that. So I believe that God has people everywhere. You know, I don't mix my belief with my job.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I separate that.
Right.
You know, so I'm not like having a prayer meeting. I may be praying in my heart,
Right.
but I'm not having a prayer meeting at the township meeting.
I hear you.
I'm conducting business.
Right.
You know, I'm in the marketplace.
Right.
So I conduct myself accordingly. You know, so sometimes people, they don't understand.
Right.
And they have to grow to that point. And,
Right.
you know, I'm okay. But this is my assignment.
I hear
And
you.
this is my purpose. And this is what I'm doing. So I don't expect for people to understand my assignment.
Okay. All right. I hope my editors don't give me the business about this, but when you say that, it reminds me that when they asked Christ about the money, he picked up the coin and said, well, whose face is on this coin?
Right?
And they said Caesar's. He said, well, render unto Caesar
What's
that
Caesar?
which belongs to Caesar, and render unto God that which belongs to God.
Perfect. You could have said it better.
That's why they pay me the big money here at Civic Engagement with Raymond. We're here with Dr. Thelma Witherspoon, and we're talking about her life and her role as the Hamilton Township Committeewoman.
Mm-hmm.
How long is the term?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, so this is up in December 2025.
Okay. How's it going for you so far? And can you give us a sneak peek of some of the things that you're going to be looking forward to as we start 2024?
Well,
Actually, we're 3 weeks into 2024.
well, you know what? Hamilton Township is a hidden gem.
Okay.
There are so many things that go in Hamilton Township on the western end that people are not aware of because they're so busy looking at Atlantic City. Now, I grew up in Atlantic City. I worked in Atlantic City. I retired in Atlantic City. But there are a lot of things that happen out here in Hamilton Township. You know, we got a wonderful, we got a dam that we're working on.
Okay.
You know, and that hasn't been worked on in years, and so
Okay.
we have money from the county. The county has assisted us, you know, in this. There's just so many. We have parks, and we have, you know,
Okay.
the beautiful things that we have that's been renovated.
Okay.
Lake Littlepee and different things of that nature. There's so much here in Hamilton Town. It's a historical town, and we have a historical society.
Okay.
You know, here in Hamilton Township, and they have a lot of things here that I was not even aware of, to be honest with you. And I've lived here maybe almost 10 years now.
Okay.
You know, and I knew about the 4-H, you know, campgrounds, you know, but I really didn't go to it. You know what I mean? But
So
since I've been
4-H campgrounds in the area too.
oh yeah, in Hamilton Township. Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's in Hamilton Township, and we have a lot going on.
And so, forgive me because I'm not the outdoorsy type. Most of these parks, or if not all of these parks, are available for use by Atlantic County residents from
Absolutely.
Across the board,
Yes,
across the county.
the county parks.
Okay.
You know, and as you know, a lot of people get married right over here at the clerk's office
Okay.
in that little park out there.
Okay.
Get a little gazebo, and they said that the new county clerk, well, he's not that new, but Joe Garalo, he just performed so many weddings. And
Okay.
people just come over there, it's free.
Okay.
You don't even have to pay nothing.
So you're also a reverend. He's not butting into your business.
No, not at all. Not at all, because people come to the clerk's office. The last clerk, he didn't marry people, but that's one of the jobs of the clerk.
Okay.
So we have a lot of marriages, you know, that
Okay.
happen here right downtown.
Not all people are the same. And yet, when we visit the doctor, our treatments don't look that different. Why is that? Because we just don't have enough information to do it better. By gathering health data from 1 million people, our country's best researchers will be able to develop treatments that are as unique and complex as we are. With this new information, doctors will have a better understanding of disease so they can innovate the next great breakthroughs in medicine. Learn more at joinallofus.org.
We are here at Hamilton Township Municipal Building, at the Hamilton Township Municipal Building. We're talking to Dr. Thelma Witherspoon, and this is Civic Engagement. Now, take us back to your time with the Atlantic City School Board. I guess I want to ask you why you decided to run for that office way back when.
Well, actually, I ran with a grandmother,
Okay.
Rochelle Salway.
Okay.
I was running for my daughter. She was running for her grandchildren.
Okay.
I had recently, well, I don't want to say recently, but I was divorced.
Okay.
All right, and our daughter was in private school, going to Pilgrim Academy
Okay.
at the time, and when the divorce happened, I didn't have the money to continue to keep her there.
Right.
So I put her in public school, New Jersey Avenue, and I got involved as the PTA, just as a parent.
Right.
Then I was the PAC president. And then I learned that although I was representing the parents, there was not so much you could do.
Okay.
You have to be in the game
Okay.
where the decisions are being made if
Right.
you want to make a difference.
Right.
Because they could hear you talk about what you was upset about, and they may take it into consideration. But if you are a part of that, you have a voice in it, and I wanted a voice. No one thought we would win. You know, I mean, of course I thought I was going to win, you know, and I was excited about it, but
Right.
no one thought we was win because we were new. I never ran for a political office or anything like that, so, but I was the top vote getter that year in 1999, so I was excited about that.
Okay.
Excited.
And then, before too long, you wound up being the president of the school board? Vice president.
I walked in as vice president. And
Okay.
then I became the president
Okay.
of the school board, and when they told me they wanted to make me president, I didn't think I could do it.
Okay.
So I went to my father.
Okay.
I said, these people have more experience than me. They have their lawyers, they this, they're that, and I don't know if I can do it. And my dad said, you can do it. You work hard, you have the wisdom of God, though. You have God on your side, and you can do it. And I became president. And I took the job very seriously, I would be up all night reading the packets and stuff, The first day I got elected, I have to tell you the story.
Okay.
They gave me a pack this big, and
They tried to scare you.
yeah, it was like this, and it was like the night, I didn't have time to read all of that the night of the meeting.
Right.
And so, you're voting on, bills and, different things like that. And so maybe about 3 months or 2 months down the road, something came up, and I said, why are we doing that? And they said, you voted for it. And they pulled out my record. And from that point to this point, I read every single thing before I make a vote. But it was a lesson. It was a good lesson.
Son, love is like the ocean. You have to tread the waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Jessica, will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
We're talking to Dr. Thelma Witherspoon, who is currently the Hamilton Township Committeewoman, but we're discussing some of her time on the Atlantic City School Board. I guess you just answered my question. I was going to ask you, what did you learn from being on the school board that you can use here as a committee woman? Is there anything else that you learned during that time?
Of course, you learn the process.
Okay.
There is a process, and how government runs. Of course, I worked for the city for 35 years.
Okay.
But I wasn't in a governmental administrative, responsibility. I was a civilian.
Right.
Working. And it's a difference when you are responsible for decisions that are being made as opposed to being just an employee.
Right.
So, but I did learn, I did learn about budgets.
Okay.
I did learn how the process worked.
Right.
Because sometimes, you have all these grand ideas and things that you want to do. And then once you get there, you find out you can't do that at all. That's not how it goes. It's a different entity. You can't run this like a corporation.
Right.
There's different rules.
Right.
And you have to learn the rules.
Right. Okay.
You have to learn the rules. So I had to learn the rules, and I became a master board member. I took up classes. I took up classes and everything because I wanted to know how to do my job.
Okay. So has it been difficult coming to the realization that now that you're sitting here, you still only have one vote, and you have limited scope on what you can change arbitrarily as opposed to trying to convince people to see what you see?
I recognize that I only have one vote.
Okay.
Okay, I understand that.
Okay.
However, I read my material.
Right.
Right. So if I have a question, I can raise the question. Just because I have one vote doesn't mean that I cannot do my responsibilities.
Okay.
So if I have questions, I'll bring that forth. I send my questions to the township administrator. I don't try to embarrass anybody or anything like that. I just because I read my packet ahead of time, I send my questions and I can get them done. And if it's something that I feel that everyone needs to know, I bring it to the forefront. And regardless, if I feel strong about it, and I'm against it or for it, I vote for it. If I don't vote for it.
76% of employees have struggled with at least one issue that affected their mental health. When you share, you're not alone.
We are here at the Hamilton Township Municipal Building. I'm talking to Dr. Thelma Witherspoon. This is Civic Engagement, and we are coming into the home stretch.
Okay.
So I want to thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us. For young people who are thinking about getting into political office, or for I'm gonna ask you two questions.
Okay.
For young people who are thinking about getting in political office, what would you say to them? And for young people who are saying, I ain't going nowhere near political office, what would you say to them?
Well, if you wanted to get involved, you need to be involved.
Okay.
You know, people need to know who you are.
Right.
You know, you just can't just pop up, I want to run.
Right.
And no one knows you.
Right.
You've done nothing.
Okay.
Okay, haven't been involved in anything, haven't volunteered, nobody knows you. You have no name recognition.
Okay.
You know, so I think getting involved in the volunteerism is a way to get started.
Okay.
You need to be a part of a municipal club, whether you're Democrat or Republican.
Okay.
You know, because that's how you, if you're chosen, get on the line. That's important too.
Okay.
Especially if you run.
Okay.
You know, so you got to know the process.
Okay.
Again, I always say you got to know the rules, and then you got to play by the rules.
Okay.
You got to know the rules. You got to know what you're going to. And then if you say that you want to run for a particular office or get involved, and then I look at people and say, have you been to any meetings? How do you know what's going on in the community that you say you want to run for? All right? So I think that that's something that's important. And then I think that people need to evolve. Where things used to be done 23 years, 25 years ago, things have changed. Mm-hmm. You have to have a social media platform. You gotta have be engaged.
Okay.
You know, with people, and you know, people will vote for you if they feel that you're the best person for the job. That's my job. I like to convince people that I'm the best person.
Okay.
For the job.
So, suppose I'm 17. Suppose I'm 17, and my attitude is I don't want anything to do with politics whatsoever. What would your message be to that 17-year-old?
Well, that's their prerogative.
Okay.
And while we live in one of the greatest countries in the world, which is the United States of America, and we can do whatever we want to do in America. But I would encourage people to know the history and understand that people, especially if they're African American, you know, that people died for us to have certain freedoms, the things that we enjoy now.
Right.
People died for that, you know, for us to have the right to vote, and for us, they got beat, and dogs, you know, went to jail, and not for criminal things, but because they wanted us to have a better life here in America. And for nothing else, even if you don't want to be in politics, you should vote.
Okay.
All right, and so you don't have to, because everything is not for everybody.
Okay.
You know, so, and I understand that, you know. And so, but whatever it is, as Dr. King would say, we just getting out of Dr. King's, you know, birthday and whatnot, and whatever you're going to be the best at it.
Indeed, indeed. One thing I did forget to ask you, give you an opportunity to blow your own horn. Can you tell us some of the things that happened, or some of the other victories that you achieved, either during your time in school board or during your time now as the Hamilton Township Committeewoman?
Well, on school board, you know, again, it was a collective effort.
Right.
You know, no one person can take the credit.
Right.
But during that particular time and that particular board, we broke ground for New York Avenue School, Sovereign Avenue School. We done the enclosures for MLK and Uptown, which they had open space. And the Chelsea Heights expansion was completed. All in that 3-year period. That I was on the school board. I wasn't successful the next time, but, you know, we left our footprint there.
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know.
and Clarkshire athleticism.
It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom
Reaching residential areas.
and your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
You are watching Civic Engagement, and my special guest is Dr. Thelma Witherspoon. As we close up, is there anything that I should have asked you that I forgot to ask you or neglected to ask you?
No, you're pretty thorough. You're pretty thorough, and I'm just excited and honored that you thought to come and interview me and talk to me. I'm excited about being here. I love what I do, and I do what I love.
Well, we're glad to have you. Okay, she is Dr. Thelma Witherspoon. She is the Hamilton Township Committeewoman. How can people get in contact with you if they need their Hamilton Township Committeewoman? What's the best way for them to contact you?
I am accessible.
Okay.
All right, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I have a website.
Radio show.
I have a radio show.
Call in to
WEHA every Saturday morning from 9 to 10. They can call here to the township, office, and leave a message or send me an email.
Okay.
And I return all my calls and all my emails. If I don't do it right away, because I work, at Atlantic County Special Services now.
Okay.
So, you can't be on the phone. You're not supposed to be on the phone, all right?
Gotcha.
So, but if people send me a text or inbox me or send me something in Messenger, I respond.
Thank you so much. Again, we'd like to thank you for being with us today. This has been Civic Engagement with Raymond Tyler. I'm Raymond Tyler. For Dr. Thelma Witherspoon, for Mark Tyler, and Norris Height, and all the great people at AtlanticCityFocus.com. I'd like to thank you for watching. And again, this has been Civic Engagement with Raymond Tyler.